Hey, it's Ryan with AVL, and today we're going to go over the unweave and the reverse functions in AVL Drive to show you what their differences are and what they're used for. So let's start with the unweave button. So the unweave button is a tool to use when you made a mistake and that you need to actually go back and fix something. So the cool thing about the unweave feature is that it actually will reverse or your cloth beam will go backwards to bring your fell line to the proper position. So let me show you how that's done. So if you take a look here, I've made a mistake in the last couple shots I've thrown, so I need to go back 2 places, but I don't want the cloth beam to keep advancing. So I hit unweave and it will go backwards to keep my fell line in the proper position. So one thing to note is that if you're unweaving, or for that matter just moving the cloth beam backwards, so your fell line will be going towards the heddles, you need to release tension on the cloth storage system, because that only takes up your cloth. It does not let out cloth automatically. So you need to pull the pin. So I've pulled the pin here from this beam. So now I have a freewheeling cloth storage beam. That lets off slack. So if you're going to move this beam backwards, you need to release tension here so that this lets off, right? So I'll show you how to do that, but I've let off tension there. Now Amy, let me so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the unweave button. So I'm using my phone here to run this loom. Let me just make sure that I'm using Face ID. Okay. All I'm going to do is click the unweave button. Okay, so now I know this is going to go backwards. So let me see if this got me that sheds. I think it advanced in a few minutes ago. Here we go. Okay, good. So now I can go backwards. Okay. So that's that one. Pull that out. And let me go backwards one more pick, but I want you to zoom in right here, and I'm going to show you when I treadle, it's going to open the previous shed, but it's going to take this back. So see how that went this way, just slightly. So now this should be open. Okay. And now I have a bunch of thread here. That's all messed. Okay. Great. Anyways, so all we want to do now to start weaving, first what we're going to do is change the loom over to weaving forward mode. So, okay, I'm just going to click back to weave. Okay, so now I'm going to be going forward. So what I want to do though is put the pin back in my cloth storage beam. So come over here, let me show you how easy this is. Here's the pin. So this needs to go back in this beam. So all I'm going to do is get it to where I could see this groove here, and then use the beater to find the hole that this pin goes into. So you can just kind of, so there it is. So I just saw it go by, so I'm just going to go, okay, put that in. And then you just kind of wind this up that way, or you could use your beater to get out the slack. This beater, you know, it picks up the slack in your cloth beam, woven cloth, but it won't pull it too tight. It just, once it reaches a certain tension, it slips. So that's how that works. It's a nifty little contraption. But anyways, now I'm ready to weave again. So I'm going to actually, sorry for this, I'm going to change my shed, and then I'm just going to deal with this mess I've created. Once I get caught up, So So that's the unweave function. It's the tool that you use when you make a mistake. So the reverse function, all that is a design tool. It's going to reverse your pattern. So you basically would weave your pattern backwards, but it's not going to move this beam backwards. It's going to let you keep weaving forward. So it's a design tool. The reverse button is a design tool. So if I clicked reverse here, sorry, reverse, now that's engaged. It's going to weave my pattern backwards, but zoom in here, see I'm still advancing forward. So all I'm doing is just weaving the opposite of my pattern. So that's that. So the key things to take away from this: unweave is when you've made a mistake. When you unweave, you have to most likely release the cloth storage beam pin so that you get slack. The reverse button is a design tool, and it keeps you weaving forward, but it reverses your design, your pattern. So that's it. Hopefully this was helpful.